Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream, viewer requested flight Friday. We are in the Cessna Citation Longitude going from Stansted, London to Rovaniemi, Finland. About a 2.5 hour-ish flight. Bex requested the flight, so morning Chris. So this is her flight. She's the first officer, and we have a special tail. Hello, Joseph. I'm going to have to leave things the way they are. We'll deal with it as it comes. All right, so we'll get in here, get everything started up, but we will show the special tail code for Bex's flight. Bex won't be with us. She'll be watching later on. But it's kind of hard to see, but we'll zoom in here before we get started. Oops. Catch up. There you go, Bex. There's your special tail code for your flight today. And this kind of looks like the color of ketchup, doesn't it? Yeah, there we go. All right, let's get in here and get this going, and we will be in the air momentarily. Make sure our co-pilot is not going to talk just yet. Oh, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, we've flown this one before. Yeah, we've been in this one a couple times already.
Oral warning, okay.
While that's doing its thing, we're gonna get some things set up here. We want to get the wind on as well.
TAWS system test, okay.
All right, there's that. Get the engine started up. Actually, while we're doing that, we can go ahead and ask for clearance. Oh. See, my voice says Bex, but the see. Go back just a bit here. We'll turn to the left. Our runway is just right over there, so it's not going to be too far for us to go. Now, I'm looking for 2 flights, at least 2 flights, for next Friday. Alright, we can minimize that. We can get the co-pilot involved now. We can get rid of this. Now, we need to do a couple other things before we go. We need to get our lights on. Oops. And we need to get our vertical speed set. Oops. Yep. All right. Oh, and then we need to get our flight plan up so we can keep an eye on that as we go for any issues. All right, let's go. Oh, yeah, it was funny, but I get the suspicion that not everybody was laughing, Joseph. I think after a while it got to be a little too much. But that's just my observation, but I could be wrong. But I don't think everybody was laughing by the end. I wouldn't say it was painful. It was just I don't know. I have to do it from out here. I can't see clearly enough over the dash to steer from inside. Might be a pretty quiet chat today. We'll see. Oh, I'm muted. Oops-a-daisy. I took a sip of coffee and forgot to unmute myself. All right, that's okay. Nothing exciting has happened just yet. We're getting ready to line up here on the runway. It's just taking a moment because trying to get this thing to move, but not move too quickly so it gets out of control. Alright, I think we are all set. Turn that on and let's go. So we're going to have to do a couple things in quick succession here once we get in the air. And away we go.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Oops.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Where's my...
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Yeah, look.
Landing gear. 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 Landing gear.
Oh, come on. There we go. All right, we got that done. Go ahead and turn off our lights here. And away we go. So we were already on our departure phase. We will turn northerly here in a moment to head towards Finland. Or I should say to the north. Now I did try, I took off and I forgot when I did this before just to make sure everything worked. I forgot that I needed to hit the auto throttle so that we weren't speeding on the way out. So luckily this time I remembered. So we're having a nice climb to 13,000 feet. I could probably go a smidge quicker, but I think we're okay. We're just going to leave it right at this and just climb out. Have a nice relaxing climb to 13,000 feet. There we go. Air catch-up is en route to Finland. That's what I should have made it. The call sign was air catch-up. I think Bex would have gotten a laugh out of that. Okay, so now that we are, well, let's get en route a little bit more, and then we'll talk about next Friday. So, I have one now. I need one more. Somebody who hasn't given me a flight yet, If you're in the chat, whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube, I need a departure airport and a destination airport, roughly an hour, hour and a half tops flight time. So if somebody has an idea of something, if you give it to me now, but I do have one. It was sent to me while I was preparing, so, and it's been cleared by the captain. So if somebody else has another route, roughly an hour in length, hour and a half, doesn't have to be in a jetliner. It could be in any, if I have it, I'll fly it, or I'll try to find something close to it. So if somebody has something they would like to see, go ahead and figure it out. Or if you need help with the information, just give me at least a general idea of where. We'll see what we can do. Hey! Oh, look, Bex. You got your special tailcode catch-up. You're welcome. Thanks for stopping by for a moment. Glad to see you here. Air Ketchup is en route to Finland. To provide ketchup to Finland. Though I think Bex would not want to share the ketchup. She'd say, just drop the ketchup off at my house and continue with the flight, please. Alright, so we are... That's where we're at now. We're on our way here to this marker, which is... what's the marker name? Osba. No worries, Bex. Take care. Alright, so before we go, I'm going to speed up first. Not too... Oh, come on. Killing me, Smalls. Let's go to 270. At least... get sped up a little bit here, and then we'll go up to So there was a little bit of an update last night. Nothing too significant. A few things got updated. If you already own products, only aircraft of note, the Kodiak 100, is in the marketplace. That's about it. Nothing else of significant note. So if you are looking for a general aviation aircraft to fly, the Kodiak comes highly recommended by a lot of people in the PC side of the community. They sing nothing but praises of the plane. They love it. Very popular right now, so yeah, good stuff. Alright, let's just have a look here. Is it at 10? Let's say 15. 15, okay. Let's go one back. We should be in business. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Our first pole dancer of the day. Isn't that nice? Good stuff right there. All right. Oh, then I accidentally unplugged my headset. All right, so we are above that. We need to get this to 29902. This one to 29902. We are in business. We can go ahead and get rid of that. So we are still en route to OSPA. We have, it's a significant distance as well, it looks like. 247 nautical miles to that marker. So this should take a bit of a chunk out of our flight. It's going to be about over 1,000 nautical miles today. So, yeah. Once we get up to 27 or flight level 270, we'll go quicker, and then we'll be at our cruise speed. We're pretty close to it. So tomorrow we are in the Spitfire going from Dunkswell to Cherbourg. We're flying over the airfield where Easy Company 506 departed from on their way to Hello Fark. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So we're going to go check that out and then head our way over to Normandy. Sunday, we're in the F-14 going from Miramar to Davis Air Force Base. Monday, we will be in the Junkers 52 going from Stuttgart to Munich. Tuesday, Jetliner Tuesday, Mullen Sweet Airfield to San Francisco International. And then on the 16th, we have Munich to Hanover. That's going to be a late flight. When I get back from an appointment on the 16th, we'll do that flight. All right, let's ask for by 3,000. Oops. I could live at 39990. All right, let's get a little bit more speed here. Now we should go to, oh, we're not quite there yet, so we gotta, let's get up to 300 knots first. Hello, Elton. You're a pilot. Are you talking in real life or in the sim or both? Or either way, welcome to the channel. We're on our way to Finland today. We are going there for the town of Santa is near the airport we are going to. So welcome. We've been on our way to OSPA for quite some time. So we've got looks like we've got a wind coming out of 41 knot wind, but we're still on track. We're not too far off. The system is keeping us on track. Currently in American. Oh, congratulations! That's really awesome. Good deal. Now today, on next Friday, I'm doing viewer requested flights. I have one already committed that I can do. If anybody here has a flight they would like to see next Friday, about an hour and a half in length would be preferable. If I can work within a time constraint, possibly, if it's something reasonable, but we're looking for about an hour and a half long flight from gate to gate, I guess, roughly, or thereabouts. So if anybody has a departure airport and an arrival airport, you can give me that information. I will look it up, and if I say yes, then you are the second and final flight for viewer requested flights. It looks like it's already gone to our Mach number. It should have already converted over. Not yet. We will, once we get to our cruising out there, 390, we'll hit the Mach. Oop, oop, oh, oh. Okay, maybe we do need to hit it now. Well, we don't need the landing gear. There we go. That should be right where we should be, roughly. Boy. Oops, daisy. That almost got ugly. We're good. Maybe just a little bit more. 7-8, we should be right in the sweet spot there. There we are. We're anybody have a flight? Anybody? Somebody give me something. Let's see if we can just stay right here where we're at. I'm comfortable right here. All right, then that should be where we're going to stay at for the remainder of the flight. Anybody have a flight at all? LAX to I believe I can do that. I think I can do that in the A320. That should be a pretty quick flight. Yeah, I can do that. That should be no problem. Yeah, so we got 2 flights already then for the 18th. Thank you. I will need to write down your name so I give you proper credit for the suggested flight. Let's see. Let's see. LAX. Hey, Mick, hold on just a second, kind sir. Elton. All right, I'll just put your first name. All right, thank you. Or yeah, LAX to Las Vegas is fine. I can do that. That's not a problem. Recovering from the truck driving last night does left me with cuts and bruises. Mick. Oh, we were talking about that as we were getting ready to depart Stansted. So yes, Elton, you are our second and final flight for the 18th. Congratulations. So we are all set. And on the 25th, we're going to do, yeah, that's not a problem. We'll do that. That's fairly easy. And it works out because our flight the first flight we're going to do is going to go to LAX. So it'll be a nice, easy transition. So, yeah. So we won't have to change planes or anything. I like it. On the 25th, it's not going to be a super long flight. I was going to do one, but I figured, it's really difficult sometimes to do like one of those 6-hour flights, on the 25th, we're taking the 737 MAX from Salt Lake City to Seattle. It's going to be about a 3-hour, I think, flight, roundabout. So yeah, we'll do that one to wrap up the month. Then we will talk about April. I need to look at the calendar for April and know when my Fridays are so that I don't mess up my schedule. So let's just have a look here. April. Okay, April 1st is the first Friday of April. I will not be flying that day. So yeah, that's a no-no. That's a no-go. So 8, 15, and 22. There's still 3 flights, or there will be 3 flights available through May. Or if we could do, on the 8th we do 2 flights, the 15th we do 1 flight, and then the 22nd we do 2 flights. And then I'll wrap up the month on the 29th. So we do that for April. Quick reminder, Sunday is the time change here in America. We're going ahead an hour, so we will not be we'll only fly. We'll start that at 7 o'clock on Sunday, 7 in the morning. So that should be 11 UK time. No, I'm not. I just play flight sim. That's all. I wish I was. But I just enjoy the sim and try to do the best I can at it. Try to make it entertaining, fun, sometimes even educational, if it comes to it. But yeah, we always just try to have a good time, fly the best we can, and try to land it the best we can. Alright, so we're just cruising right here at 39,000 feet. Good deal. Still got 122 nautical miles to our marker. Now we'll look around. Hello, Samir. Welcome. Samir. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. Try to get it right when I can. Well, this has a HUD, but we can't use it. I don't know if they're ever going to allow that to flip down. So you can have all your stuff projected. You don't have to look down. So for the new folks to this stream, if you scroll down below the video, there's a whole description. And then there's a whole bunch of information that usually covers the standard questions that I get as a flight simulator person, streamer. So if you want to read through all that, that will tell you quite a bit. I forgot to say that. So do check that out, please, and thank you. Is there anything else here that we can tinker with? You just never know if something got updated and then suddenly you have some other switches available that you didn't have before. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, I've tried to include the usual questions. Like when I first started getting a lot more viewers, that was the how I'm flying, what am I using, that sort of stuff. You know, a lot of people thought I was on the PC, and I had to explain that I'm on the Xbox side of things. If you're new to the sim and looking for some help, especially on the PC side, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a link to the forums, and generally your questions can be answered there. I couldn't tell you how to solve a lot of the PC problems since I'm not on the PC myself, and it seems like the PC problems, it's hit and miss sometimes. Some people have them, some people don't. So I put the link to the forums there. If you need help, you can always go there and ask questions, and generally somebody will help you out. And also there's some channel rules there. Please respect those. Appreciate it. Don't think there anything out of the ordinary there. Standard stuff amongst all streamers. All these fuses and stuff. Because I'm on the Xbox side, I do not have the same aircraft that the PC crowd has. I am limited in my choices of jetliners right now. There's supposed to be some more coming. We don't know when. But supposedly, at least the regional stuff, we're supposed to be getting the CRJs, but they're still sorting out some problems with the coding and all that for those aircraft. Is a work in progress, apparently. can go out here and hang out. So I can't, there's, if folks want to see something, I generally probably will not have it because either it's not in the sim or it's only on the PC side. And I don't have the ability to purchase it outside of the marketplace on the Xbox. So please keep that in mind. Ooh, Scottish Center. Look at that. Continue as planned. But I do have a pretty full library of flights I've already completed, so do check those out. I might need... That's where it is. I thought there was a pit op in here. That doesn't do anything. What about all that stuff over there? Doesn't really do anything. Okay. So we still have 68 nautical miles to our first marker there. I'll go ahead and scroll down just a smidge here. So as soon as we alright, that's not what I wanted. There we go, perfect, right there. Kind of a bit of a headwind, it seems like. They're saying 4 knots from this direction. This one's saying 4 knots from another direction. Almost, yeah, okay. Based on our, yeah, so it's a headwind. So just a minor headwind, nothing too severe to slow us down. Let's do a little close-up around the plane while we're flying. There we are. Sharp-looking plane, I think. Now, it doesn't really... It has a modeled interior, I think, kinda. It's hard to tell, or at least there's, like, shadows in there. But you can't really go back into the passenger cabin, unfortunately. Well, actually you can see it a little bit better now, the ketchup. Tail code for today's flight. Bex is a huge fan of ketchup. So, special tail code just for her today. Yeah, I like the livery on this one. It really looks sharp, I think. Alright, let's go back inside. Or at least outside here. Right here. Hello, Amela. How are you? Nice to see you today. Nice to see you as always. Now, Amela, I've heard from the developers from ETS2, and they've suggested that you go through a virtual truck driver training again. Your driving yesterday was very suspect, so they've asked me to tell you that you need to attend a driver's academy again. They feel like there's some things that maybe you need to get some refresher on. I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. Just feeling a little behind this morning, even though I'm not. Yeah, I'm good otherwise. A little hiccup this morning with the technology. Couldn't get the Twitch on the Xbox and the Twitch stream thing on my laptop to communicate. Had to restart a couple times, but we are on our way. Oh. Yeah, we're just cooking along here. Still got quite a bit of ways to go. We're here in the corporate jet. Oh, I almost forgot. So Saturday. I almost forgot. Saturday, there will be a second flight in the afternoon. About 1 o'clock Eastern, which is 6 o'clock UK time, but we're doing a flight from Baltimore to Charleston. Special extra flight. Extra special flight. It's an additional special flight. I don't know. All the above. So we will be doing that. We will be doing it in this aircraft on Saturday. So we'll do our Spitfire flight, then we'll have some time, and then we'll do a flight in the afternoon. Shouldn't take very long to do. I think it's a couple of hours or so. I checked it out the other day. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. Almost forgot about that. So yes, we'll do 2 flights on Saturday. This was kind of a last minute thing, but happy to do it. Mr. Addies, what are you like today? Just never know what buttons you can press and something fun happens. Just as long as we don't turn off the engines. Then we're okay. I think I've done that before by accident, actually. Oh, that was a good time. We got everything restarted though. Oh, thank you, Samir, for the subscription. Appreciate that. And we try to fly 7 days a week, as long as my schedule allows for it. Yeah, and then we will fly. So, yeah, as long as I... Oh. British Ace is flying today as well. Around the Rock. Ah, he's in an A320 going around something. Oh, interesting. Let's see. So yeah, thank you for the subscription. All right. Let's see. Nothing has... Oh, we finally passed over Ospa. And our next one is just a short hop to that marker. So that's the interesting thing I've noticed, is that sometimes we have markers or points that are fairly close, you know, not too far of a distance apart, you know, maybe 10 nautical miles, maybe just under, maybe a little bit over. And then we have these huge distances between markers. I call them markers, but waypoints or whatever you want to call them. And then sometimes it's like 250 nautical miles or more. So, yeah. We'll just keep monitoring that. We've got quite a bit ways to go. We've barely scratched the surface here of our flight. Let's see if it says the total distance. No, it does not. So we are on our way to here now. That is only 14 nautical miles. So we're going to kind of scroll down here just a bit, just so we can keep an eye on things. Keep an eye on our flight plan. It's not wanting to cooperate. Oh, we'll just leave it right there. So our Jetliner Tuesdays, just kind of talking about some things that we're doing on the channel here. Jetliner Tuesdays, we will be flying an actual route. What I've done is look up, so let's say United Airlines. And I look for a route, a real world route that I can fly with the A320 or the 737 MAX. So those will all be based on real world flights. So yeah, doing those. I try to find the aircraft, or at least a close enough for the A320. Maybe those airlines don't use the A320 anymore. They maybe have updated to the A321 or whatever. So I try to, even if it's not the exact plane, I'll still fly it anyway, because at least we're operating a real world route. Or at least departure and destination. The actual flight route may be different, and of course they can change their flight en route. They can get they can change their direction and heading and stuff like that. Is there a? It's almost like this is saying there's a landmass in front of us, but I don't see it. Oh, wow. Copenhagen. But we're also going to be flying some classic stuff. We're going to be in the Junkers, German airplane from the 1930s. We'll also be eventually in the Fokker F-7B, which is a classic tri-motor aircraft that was flown quite a lot in. It was the first one of the first aircraft that the Dutch Royal Airlines used. We will be in the Beechcraft D-17. That's the stagger wing. We're going to fly that. We're going to do some of these flights are going to be what we call VOR to VOR. So for those of you who are not pilot savvy, it's basically we have a radio frequency that we're going to tune in, and we're going to follow a heading to that frequency, and then we'll turn. We'll adjust our our heading and everything based on the next radio frequency that we're going to tune in and all that. So it should be some really nice flying, something a little bit different than this. It's once you get going, this is pretty much, it's very simple. You're just monitoring stuff. You're listening, if necessary, to the ATC. But we're going to do some different stuff, some classic sort of aviation, just to kind of break things up. It's easy to do the jetliner stuff, I think. It's a little bit more difficult to navigate with the VORs and the and other earlier ways of navigating. So we will enjoy those as best as we can. And excuse me. So yeah, good stuff coming up. Here towards the end of the month. We won't be flying on the 24th. I won't. Oh wait, the 23rd. I'm sorry. I won't be streaming that day, which is a Wednesday. We'll go 22nd, which is our JetBlue flight from New York to Nashville, JFK to Nashville, and then we'll pick it back up on the 24th in the Beechcraft D-17 Raleigh-Durham to Wilmington. Should be a fairly quick flight, and then I just got to finish out the month. A few days there, and then we're all set to go into April. April 1st, no flights at all. And possibly the 2nd. Depends on how I feel when I get up. If I feel kind of yucky, if you don't see me within a couple hours, then just assume that the flight has been canceled. But I have to go to the hospital for a procedure. They will give me some sedation, so I don't know how it's going to affect me the next day, if at all. If not, then we will definitely be flying. That'll be our first Spitfire Saturday of the month. Kick things off for April. Alright, so this one, see, 154 nautical miles to our next marker, Rogo, it looks like. Or, nope. Is it Rogo? Yeah, looks like Rogo. And then another one beyond is 202 nautical miles to that one. Looks like, or something like that. So we're just cruising along here, going over the North Atlantic, it looks like. Oh, there is a landmass there. Wow. It's kind of hard to tell with the clouds and everything. Zipping along here. Not a very bumpy flight, knock on wood. Now going into April, we're going to continue on trying to mix things up. Tuesdays will be Jetliner Tuesdays, specifically, so we do a Jetliner flight, because some people prefer those over the general aviation aircraft. But the general aviation, you learn a lot more from it, I think. And I've learned, quite honestly, I learned a lot from Captain Arish's flights, doing those with him in Australia. He's diving even deeper into navigation using celestial navigation. You know, and you're landlocked, so during the day you only have a couple choices, really, possibly to shoot your azimuths and try to figure out where you are. He does not fly with the GPS on. He is in a Cessna 172. He started in Toronto, Canada, I believe, and he's gone basically all over. He's in Australia now. Eventually going to pop over to New Zealand, then come back to Australia, continue, and he's just going to zigzag until he's done. So, still, he's got a long way to go. And I was just kind of thinking about that when somebody had suggested in Joe's stream, I think a couple days back, about doing it 80 days around the world. It sounds possible, but it's really not, because if you want to, now if you hit your major countries and you say we're just going to take off and land from this, go from here to here in this country, then we'll say we flew in this country. But there's a lot of places to fly. It's not very feasible to say that you're going to go around the world in 80 days, you know, especially in a Cessna 172. He's at flight number 180 something now. So he's been doing this. Now he doesn't, sometimes he can't stream every day to do, or not on Mondays and Wednesdays. So it's not always possible for him to do it. But yeah, I've learned quite a bit flying with him. So we're gonna implement some of the things within our flights and enjoy it, and not always be in a hurry to get to our destination. We'll enjoy the scenery. We'll enjoy the flying. Okay. Take care, Milla. Nice to see you. Be safe. Catch you later. Nice to see you as always. Kind of quiet in the chat now. It's gone quiet. That's okay. Now, eventually, what we may do, and I'm trying to figure out how we can make this happen, but we may open up flights on Saturday to multiplayer. So basically, kind of do what Captain Arish does. He'll say, you know, we're going from here to here. This is our departure airport. This is the server I'm on. Do join in, you know, fly whatever you feel comfortable flying. Just come in and hang out. But that, I have to think about that a little bit more. And that's a possibility in the near future, that will maybe on Saturdays. Maybe I'll still fly the Spitfire to still make it Spitfire Saturday, but you can fly, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with, within reason, of course. So try to have a nice group together if possible. So keep warm, Amilla. Aw, Mr. Addy's getting all tender now. Aww. So yeah, we may do that eventually down the road. There will be some rules in place, of course, for those flights. You know, they will kind of come up with some stuff for those flights, some rules for that. Oh, it even got extra tender. Keep safe. Oh, jeez. So yeah, just some general rules about the flying and what the expectations are and stuff like that. So, but that will be a little bit further down the road, I think. But it's something I was just thinking about recently, that it would be nice to get a multiplayer flight going. Host some folks. Anybody's welcome to join, as long as you respect the channel and the rules and everything. There'll be no problem. So I'm behaving. You behave, Mr. Addies. Getting all tender with Amilla. What's wrong with you? What do you like, Addies? So, yeah, some good stuff coming up in the near future, I think. Well, there's the landmass there. I don't know, Mr. Addies. I think that's a bit suspect there. Alright, so our, just kind of looking at things, there's our true airspeed. Our ground airspeed is 426 knots. Now, one of the questions I used to get quite frequently, why does it seem like the plane's going slow? I can assure you that Mach 0.78 is not slow. We are just above 3/4 of the speed of sound. So we're 3/4 of the way to Mach 1, which would be breaking the sound barrier. So no, this is the speed. It just, so basically, kind of a bit of science here. We're at 39,000 feet above the Earth, right? The higher you get, the slower you appear to be. So for those of you who don't know, or like, why does this thing seem like it's going slow? It is not slow. Just to kind of go over some things that were questioned in the past. People in the chat got a little jumpy about it, telling me to speed up. The plane is flying within the limits of its capabilities. You try to operate within the limits of those capabilities. No more, no less. Maybe a little bit less sometimes, depending on what's happening, but generally we try to keep it right in the safe zone if we can. So what we'll do is, as we get closer to our destination, we'll have our descent stuff. We will start making our descents as we arrive into preparation for landing there in Rovaniemi. So we will manage that as best as we can. We'll try to stay a little bit ahead of the curve, descend a little bit ahead of time, so we are setting ourselves up for success once we get closer for our approach. I did not write down the stuff. Let's have a looky here. Let's pull up the weather information first, just to kind of get an idea of where. Okay. Okay, I don't have the approach plate for that. Okay. 2-1. Let's see if we can find. There we go. So we need to be at 2,400. Feet before, so we can hit our ILS approach. SAR is our marker that we're looking for. Activate that. Oh, a little bumpy here. Oh, look at that. A little bit of bump there. Nothing too severe. Go over some snow-covered area here. Now, if we want to look out further, just to kind of look ahead here, see how far out we can go here. So that is our next marker here in front of us, which is it's Rogat. Is that marker there? And then we're going to turn slightly to the left. Continue on. Hello, Syed. Welcome. So we still got quite a bit of ways to go. And we're looking at 200 nautical miles in front of us, just a bird's eye view. Okay, well, thank you. Nice to have you here. Yeah, we still got quite a bit of ways to go here. Now what I can do, let's just see if we have display direction. Okay, so there's our airport there in the distance, 700 nautical miles away. Let's put that on so we can kind of get an idea where we're at. So we're almost halfway into the flight. It was about 1,200 nautical miles, maybe a little bit less or thereabouts. So we are approaching the halfway point. So we are... hello, Glenn. Nice to see you here. Yo, yo, yo. How is life treating you, good sir? So yeah, we're that is our destination right there. So at least now that we can see it, we know we're within our striking distance, I guess, kind of. We got just that much to go. Chipping away at the distance a little bit at a time. Before we know it, we will be descending, landing. So basically what's going to happen is we arrive in, we're going to be to the right of the airport. We're going to fly down, we're going to make a big right-hand turn kind of and then line up for our runway 21. Descend to the appropriate altitude, hit the approach mode. Everything should be solid. I'm deep into GT7 at the moment. Oh, nice. Just knocking out those trophies, huh? Good deal. And we'll see that as we come into our arrival portion. We'll zoom out and kind of look ahead at what's getting ready to happen. Now, the other thing that we need to be aware of sometimes is it's more so with the arrival. It's like it's broken basically. So there'll be multiple points that we have to contend with, and so we're gonna, if we have to, what we're gonna do is to skip the broken part, go to the next one, and then we should be able to fly in from there. And that does happen sometimes for whatever reasons, but hopefully we won't have that. Now we can look ahead kind of here on our flight plan. Let's just scroll down all the way to the end. So there's our so that's the approach. So there was the one insert. That's the one I was talking about, that we need to be at 2400 at that point or even 2,500. If we're right in that ballpark, we should be good to go. We'll hit the approach mode. ILS will lock in, bring us into, as I call it, the Death Star tractor beam will be engaged, and we'll go right to runway 21. We'll put it on the ground, bring it, we'll slow it down or bring it to a stop on the runway, and then we'll turn off and request parking. And then our arrival portion is it's probably one or two more up, I think. Should be right below that. Looking for our arrival. Should be like right around here. I think it's this one. So at this point, we need to, at UNCAS, we need to start descending and prep. We're gonna start kind of stepping down in our altitude. We're gonna go from 39,000 feet, or flight level 390. We're gonna go to 300, and then we're gonna keep stepping down until we are within that we are comfortable getting to 11,000 feet when needed, when necessary. So that's the plan. But that is still farther in the distance there. So markers here. These are some of the waypoints that you would normally use for different routes to different airports. The cool thing with the Garmin system, it displays all that kind of stuff, so you see it. I'm guessing if you needed to go there, you could say go to this point here, and you know, all that kind of stuff. Glenn, you'll do fine. You're always in the top 3. I remember when Mr. Addies would race in GT Sport with Glenn. And Glenn would be behind Mr. Adams. And Mr. Adams would just, he could not handle it. He was more worried about what was happening in front of or behind him than staying on track in the front. Oh my goodness. Glenn would be just back there lurking, and Mr. Addies could not handle that. Only as the fast lad's not there. Yeah, that used to really... Maybe that's your secret, Glenn. Maybe if you just like hang back behind Jason and see if you can rattle his nerves. Yeah, those were good times. All right, so we are on our way to our next marker, EGEG. That is 193 nautical miles away. So we're just chipping away at those distances. You give that a go. I mean, it could work out in your favor. You never know. You might unsettle him enough that he causes him to make a mistake, and then you go right on by and take the win. Never know what might work. Now, is it possible, because I haven't seen it yet, but is there a way to like blink your high beams, kind of like what they do in sports car racing, just to, mess with the driver in front, that, you're behind them and you're flashing the lights, like, giving them a little wind up to get them to make an error? Can you do that in GT7? blink your lights. That might work too. I've seen that have an effect on drivers before in real life, but I don't know about it in a video game. But oh, you can do that. Well, there you go. That's a good way to mess with somebody's mental, concentrating on what's happening. But then if they look in that mirror and they see those lights flashing, that may be enough to cause an error, cause them to drive off and crash or something. It's dark, yes, and I tried that in the last race. That only made Jason more happy. Well, you never know. You might catch him off today or tonight. I remember very, I guess, somewhat famous or infamous racing incident between the Flying Lizard Porsche and the Risi Competizione Ferrari at the 2007 12 Hours of Sebring, which I happened to be at, where the Ferrari was on worn tires, the Porsche was on better tires, and Jörg Burmeister had gotten past. I forget who he was driving against. I should know it because I've seen the video enough times. Jason likes a flash. But they were doing, Jörg was, when he was within striking distance, he was flashing his lights to kind of mess with the Ferrari driver's concentration. Yeah, they were on the back straight. Ferrari came over, pushed Jörg into the wall, kind of. And then Jörg got ahead again, going into the last turn, the long right-hander, kind of. Not long, but it's a very sharp right-hander going to the main straight. Ferrari unsettled him, bumped him, threw him off the line, and then took the win in a very questionable fashion. Very questionable. I lost a lot of respect for Risi Competizione that day. I do like Ferraris, but I think that was just straight up dirty driving. It was, and the commentators said it was hard, tough racing. No, it was blatantly dirty. And they should have been penalized for it, I think. Risi Competizione. They should have lost the win. Still not got the car. Yeah, that was unforgivable in my book. Boy, we are a little bit offline, but we're still headed in the right direction. A little bit of a crosswind is pushing us a bit askew. Coming from our right, basically. Or no, coming from across here, basically. So yeah, we've got a little bit of a crosswind right now. But we're gonna make it there. It's a little bit of a, I wouldn't even say it's a situation, it's just part of flying. We're doing okay. We're not like losing control or anything. So yeah, all good. And I remember Jörg did the same thing to Corvette racing, I think a year or two later at Laguna Seca. And it was probably more flagrant than the one that happened with Risi Competizione. I think he might have gotten a penalty for it. I might be wrong, but yeah, there was another incident. It was either that year or a year later or two. when they did that. They tried to pull the same sort of thing, and yeah, it was not a good look. Come watch. I've seen. I mean, it's. I've seen racing games before, Joseph. I've played GT. You know, I played GT Gran Turismo back in the day, so I don't mind it. It's just that I can't. If I had a PS5, it would certainly be something that I would be interested in getting, but I don't have one. So I just, you know. I've watched some adjacent streams here and there. But for me, I can't. I try not to watch like multiples, because then I feel like I'm being distracted from one over the other. So, but yeah, I mean, just even the lights and stuff. But I know how GT's Gran Turismo is in general, and I know it's been improved over the years. Like the graphics have gotten better, obviously. The cars look a lot better than they did back in the day. The tracks look a lot better. So, yeah. But I can't afford a PS5 right now in order to be able to get it and play it. I probably, to be honest, I wouldn't stream all the license stuff. Yeah, we'll just get it done. And 50-lap race at Daytona Road Course. The chosen car is a radical, but with a limit of 700. So it's like a performance. You're like a performance index, basically, Glenn. That you can. It's like capped at 700 or something like that to try to make things equal. 50 laps at Daytona with the road course. Now, is it the road course that they use for the 24 hours of Daytona, do you know, Glenn? Or is it just... Because there's like I think there's a couple different layouts for the road course that they use depending on who's driving or whatever. I would like... I think in another year or two when the hypercar class, the LMDH class, comes to the WeatherTech Sports Cars series, I would like to go see them, because I like to see the bigger competition. To be honest, I'd like to see Cadillac get their asses handed to them. I think they've gotten a little too comfortable having their way with the series. You know, Acura's kind of given them a go. Mazda's gotten a few wins here or there, but Cadillac has been dominating the series. So I like to see Porsche and a bunch of other folks come in and just give it to Cadillac in spades. And just, I want to see that. I hate to say it, I want to see that disappointment on those teams' faces. They need to be brought back to reality. Yeah, I know this course is what. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it must be the one that they use for the layout for the 24 hours of Daytona. Well, I like to go see that race in person once in my life, but especially when they bring the LMDH cars to the series. And yeah, I'm really rooting for Cadillac to get screwed over a bit, get some losses under their belt, and be perplexed as to why. And then I'm looking forward in the World Endurance Championship for all these other manufacturers to give Toyota a go, bring them back to earth as well. If you tune up or tune down a car and it gets close to that, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Like you could put parts on, but if it went above it, then you weren't allowed to race. So you have to pick which sort of mods to make to the car or something, whatever's available, but you can't go over that 700. Yeah, I remember that one. I think the last time I played Gran Turismo was like that. And I think Forza Motorsports kind of no, I don't think they introduced the same thing. It was already built in that you were capped, but you could bring a low car up to like a Class B or something. You could start from Class D and then you could cap it out at Class B or something. But yeah, I do remember that it was something that I think the last time it might have been GT. I think GT3 was the last one I raced in. It was either 2 or 3. Then that's when I made the switch over to Xbox, got Forza Motorsports, because there was just more motorsports stuff in Forza Motorsports back in the day. 4 was phenomenal. 4 was like the best one. And nothing will ever happen that is going to bring the level of 4 back to Forza Motorsports, I think. But that is the benchmark that most people judge Forza Motorsports against. And if it's not anywhere near it, people are just kind of like, it's still not Forza Motorsports 4. The amount of cars, the amount of stuff that you had to do, it was phenomenal. $7:30. Seems like Friday is going to be a GT7 extravaganza. Jason's racing. Mick and Pulse will be racing. We're doing more stuff in GT7. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, just got to get through this season, and at least next year there'll be more manufacturers, different cars, and I think a lot of these teams who got a little too comfortable with winning a lot, they're in for a rude awakening, I think, because when you have a team like Porsche or some of these other folks come in, the new F1. Is there another a new game already in development, or I'm guessing there must be for this year, or for 2021, so they're like a year behind, I think, or something like that. So I think Mick and Pulse, you guys play in F1 2020, correct? I think. Yeah, usually the game developers are like a year behind so that nobody uses that information to kind of, for various reasons. Not that it's like 100% spot on or whatever. Wow, pretty heavy cloud cover. Look at that. Check that out. It's almost like a crater in the clouds right there. Kind of looks that way, but it may not. This may be just the way we're looking at it. Oh, okay. New game will be soon, and we race. Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if it was 20 or 21. Now, are they, for the one in development, is that based on this year's car or last year's car? That's what I'd be interested in seeing. Which one are they modeling the cars after? Or are they just going to use like the base model 2022 car and just throw the liveries on every car, regardless of what the teams may do to differentiate? You know, there might be some slight differences, but nothing too extreme, I guess, maybe. Oh, thank you all for the 10 likes. Appreciate it. We are, let's have a look here. We are, should be about 500 or so nautical miles from our destination. 536. See, I wasn't too far off. So we are more than halfway into the flight. Still got a bit to go. We're going to be cruising, kind of basically. I'll just leave that right up there for a moment, and I'll take it back off. So we're on our way to this marker. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 markers. So basically at Uncas, we're going to start descending. So we still got a bit ways to go. But we're going to start dropping our altitude in preparation for our arrival into... hope the new game would be like the new... Yeah. But, you know, like you have teams... Now, I get it. They're testing different things, kind of like what Mercedes is doing. But, you know, that might just be something that they're doing just to get the media attention. You know, I don't know that F1 will allow them to race it that way. Because it's a departure from the approved design, I think. But maybe they found a loophole. But the other teams may force the FIA to close that loophole very quickly before the season starts. But there's always that one team that will try something different, get a lot of media attention, get people excited, and then the rule makers come in and say, yeah, no, you can't do that. You took too many liberties with the rule book. So we are still got a bit of ways to go. I think I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. We are, let's see, 50 nautical miles from our next waypoint there. Wow, Mr. Adams is giving race direction now. Glenn has to win. Chris needs to come in second. The team manager has spoken. You guys better get it done. The other day he was the football manager for Mick and Pulse's team in FIFA 2022. Now he's gone to racing management. Mr. Addies is a multifaceted sports manager. You guys better follow the manager's wishes to the letter. Thank you, Mr. Addies. I think we both be getting our after. Nice. But you never know. All it takes is somebody to make an error, and you're right there. Let's have a look at where we are at. ENRE is a local airport here. ENRE, so we can Rena Airfield Airports in Norway. So we are in Hedmark, Norway. That airfield that we just saw here at the edge a moment ago. So we are in Norway right now. That's where we're at. Let's see if the weather in Finland has updated. No, 3012. So yeah, we are in Norway right now, basically. Finding a bit of a crosswind at the moment. 53 knot crosswind. Whew. We're still on our way. Thank you again to Bex for the suggestion for today's flight. Bex is the honorary first officer for the flight. So hopefully everybody's enjoyed this today. Everything has worked pretty well. We had a few little, I think we had a little bit of a hiccup as we got up to the stratosphere. I had to dial back the speed a bit because we were over speeding. We got that situated and we've been cruising at Mach 0.78 for quite some time. Right up there. And if we look over here, our true airspeed is 433, 440, 34-ish. Ground speed, actual ground speed is 420 knots. So we are cooking along. A little stutter there, seemed like. Yeah, it's been a good flight so far. Now our We've been streaming for just over 2 hours now. The flight would be about 2.5-ish, but it might be closer to 3. So we've been dealing with a bit of a headwind and this crosswind. So we're going fast, but we may be losing ground a little bit. We're not getting there, but we're staying right where we're at. We're gonna get through this. A little bit of a bump there. The winds are having a bit of a so 7 nautical miles to that marker. Oh wow, we've already passed. Okay, so we are getting closer to our should be pretty soon. We'll see. What was that again? I didn't quite catch all that. Okay. Alright, so we just passed that. We are on our way to Dib. That is 82 nautical miles away. Just make that turn there a little bit. Thank you for the 11 likes, folks. Appreciate that. Nice to see everybody here. So just kind of looking down here at our flight plan. So we got 1, 2 more markers here in front of us. And then we'll be at Uncas. We will start our descent there. Once we get to that marker, we'll start descending below flight level 390. Or actually, when we get to Tuggy, we can start descending there. We'll go to 30,000 feet from here, from Tuggy to Uncas, and then we'll go to we'll be right where we need to be, and then we can just start descending further from there. We'll manage our descent and arrival into Rovaniemi. Absolutely fantastic flight. Look at this snow-covered terrain. Almost like we're flying over another world. It does look like there's some roads down there. I'm trying to see if I can look for something that looks like a town or a city or something, and I don't see one. Oh, maybe you're right. Looks like there's something right here off the right wingtip. Possibly. The wind is still having a bit of an impact on our speed. But we're doing okay. Or maybe he just wants to get people in, get a little bit of practice. Some folks can take advantage of that now just to get their car sorted, maybe. Yeah. So one of the cool things now, in this one you have these little Garmin systems here. This one has our flight plan. And then over here's the one that we use for other stuff like our I didn't activate this one, I forgot. So we'll do the one for the approach, we'll put that in. But you can set your speed, so like your for your takeoff and all that. You can do that here. I think you can set the bearings. You can set radio stuff right here. You can put the identifier. Yeah, so you could do your radio stuff. Pretty handy to have that all available right near you. Keep an eye on things. "44 nautical miles to DIBV. Seems like the wind might have... Oh, nope, 60 knot wind. I was going to say, it seemed like the wind had calmed down, but now we come out here and the plane's shaking a little bit. Nothing too severe. It looks like there's roads or something along below us, but I still don't see like a major sort of like a town or anything significant below us. Ooh, there's a little bump. A little turbulence. Good times. Well, that seems kind of... This seems like it's... Oh, it's just the clouds reflecting off the display here. Because I was like, why is that doing that? I thought something was wrong. Oh, look at that, our second pole dancer for the day. Good times. be wrapping up the stream as soon as we get on the ground. We'll reiterate our plans for tomorrow once we parked before we shut off for the day. And then we will be done. Let's have a look how much farther we are, or where we're at in relation to the airport, how much more we got to go. 398 nautical miles. That's not too bad. So we are nearing the end. Still got a few things left to do. So once we get here, once we get to Tudig, we'll start descending. We should be set up for success. Knock on wood. Fingers crossed. And a great flight. Some really awesome snow-covered scenery today. Ooh, stutter again. Wow. This is the first time I've really had a lot of that happening. It seems to be a more common occurrence now since Sim Update 8. Other Xbox players have reported something similar since Sim Update 8 came out. As long as we don't have a crashed dashboard, I'm okay with it. It's a little bit of an annoyance, but as long as it doesn't upset anything with regards to our flight, then we are good to go. Alright, there's our marker there in front of us, the one that we are en route to, Dibva. So, let's see how things play out. Let's get an eye for things. 131 nautical miles to our next one. So we'll eat up that. Now what we could do is, it's not a major, I think would be safe at 35 or 350. So that won't be too big of a drop to 30,000 feet, 300. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, just so that we're a little bit ahead of the curve. We'll just put it in a slow descent. Oh, goodness gracious. Now we'll just do a slow, just kind of a slowish descent to 350. We're not in any rush to get there. We'll cover a little bit of ground here on that distance between that 112 nautical miles to Luki. All right, we should be leveling off here in a second. Drink me some water. There we go. All right. Any moment now we will come out of the descent a little bit, and then we'll level off at 350. There we go. And once we get below 340, we'll change this back to knots and dial it back to like 290 knots, and then we should be good to go for the remainder of the flight. We'll start slowing down as we descend further in preparation for our landing. I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today. Nice to see you all here. Thank you for coming by, hanging out. Except for the pole dancer bots. You're not welcome here, of course. Take your product elsewhere, please and thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate that. Nice to have you here as well. All right. We are 81 nautical miles. We're just going to stay right here at 350 until we get a little bit closer, and we'll go to 300. And we'll stay there for a bit. Yeah. Actually, from here we just go to 32 and then we're set for right here, or even 33. We'll go 32, and then we're basically set up for success right here. We get to that point, and then from there we can start our further steps down in altitude. Then eventually we'll start getting our updated altimeter readings to make sure we are at the correct altitude, so we will keep an eye on that once we get to that point. Wow, that does not look good. That's getting all blurry below us. Like it's getting all muddy. Look at that. Huh. That does not look good at all. It's like this whole area is now being... Everywhere I looked, it's getting all muddied. Oh, this is not a good sign. Alright, well, we're just going to stay right here. I have a bad feeling about this. That seems like a bad omen. I hope I'm wrong, because I would be a bit upset if our game crashes. Now, what I may try to do, here's the thing, folks. If for some reason it well, I can't. Oh crap! What the hell? It's like the nav mode just suddenly got kicked off. Wow! That just happened. Wow, okay. This is interesting. Well now. That just threw the nav mode off completely. Wait, no, that's vertical navigation. Need the... Where's nav? It should be... Pilot. Okay, it's right. Okay, I don't need this on. I just need the regular nav on. Wow, okay. That was weird. Like, it threw something off and then it came back on, but... Alright, we're back on. We're good. Yeah, if the game crashes, I'm not going to be able to stop. Or, you know, like, if it goes all the way to the dashboard, I can't, like, pause the game and then restart it. Unfortunately. And there's no way that's the bad part, and folks on the Xbox have been asking for this. Is there a way to save your, you know, where you're at in the flight so you can pick it back up, you know, say you can't do the whole thing in one sitting? And they have not been able to figure out a way to make that happen, I don't think. You can save the flight plan, but it'll start you from back at the beginning. It won't keep you at a certain point in the flight. So if it crashes, and it'll be done for, you know. I wouldn't be able to start from here and finish up the flight. Wow, look at, it did it again. Look at that. Wow. Really throwing us around. So it's not turning anything off, it's just throwing us out of our cruising altitude. Or where we're at right now for cruise-wise. Interesting. That's twice now that that's happened. That was like a sudden gust. Let's see if we catch one again. See, even this has been stuttering a little bit lately, today. I want to see if I can see what that wind gust speed gets up to, because it's got to be higher than 71 to throw us around like that. Like, it's been a huge gust suddenly. Because when I hear that bell, it sounds like something was turned off. But it's just that the plane is either above or below the assigned or specified altitude. Let's see, we are 28 nautical miles. Let's get to 2G, and then we will go to 320. Yeah, I apologize in advance if for some reason the game crashes. Hopefully it won't, but it's been known to happen sometimes. So hopefully it will not today. Pretty strong 73, 74 knot wind. Coming almost from the north. Northwest. So yeah, we're flying a northeast track here, and the wind is coming from, so it's 315. So somewhere over in here, almost westerly. Oh wait, 270, so right about here. So yeah, we're just getting slammed by that crosswind. Alright, there's our Lukig marker. Or Lukig is actually the name here. And I don't think going to 320 is going to make... We should still be at a safe enough altitude for the remainder of the flight. I don't think there's anything significantly high that we need to go over and dip back down on the other side. Alright, so Tudig is a short distance away, 15 nautical miles. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for that reduction to 320. So we are... All right, here we go. We are beginning our kind of descending a little bit further. Get us set up for success here towards the end. There we go, perfect. This is going to be interesting tonight. Already some issues in the practice session there, Chris. Right, so we are on our way to Unka, 62 nautical miles. Oops. So we are set for Risen, right here. That's the important thing, pretty much. So we are right where we need to be for that. Let's see if we can get this to... Oh well. All three of us had issues already. Oh. Uh-oh. Is it like game stability sort of issues or other things? Or a combination of a bunch of things, which is always possible. So let's go to 280 because I think 290 we're a little too close to that overspeed part. There we go. I think we're at a good speed here. I'll be right back, folks. All right. Just had to grab a quick little snack. All right, so we have 33 nautical miles to our next marker there, Unka. What we can do is we can kind of look ahead here. All right, so this is where we're... So from here, that's when we're going to start. Our next one will be Nemgu, which should be our... yeah, that's our arrival point right there. So this one right here. That begins the arrival phase of the flight. And then we have these two markers here. And then we'll turn in for lineup on the runway. So that's what we got coming up, essentially. Oops. Wrong button. Perfect, that's where we want to be. Do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today. Nice to see everybody here. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Leave a thumbs up if you feel so inclined. We do try to fly 7 days a week. Sometimes we do 2 flights during the day. Now, especially for you new viewers, I think it's in the description, but I'll just kind of go over some things. As we start to descend into the airport and get lined up, I'm going to pay less attention to the chat. I know some people tend to wait for whatever reason until I am getting ready to land to ask questions. So I'm going to try to not look, so it's nothing personal, but I need to pay attention to what's going on here. Once we're on the ground, I can look back and see if you had a question. So if you haven't asked it by now, I don't know what to tell you. All right, making our little churn here. Only 29 nautical miles to Risen. So what I may just do is ask for 30,000 feet now. Let's just go ahead and do that. There we go. Thanks once again to our honorary first officer, Bex, for the flight today. Appreciate it. We will be near the town of Santa before we know it. This airport is the closest town to or closest airport to the town of Santa. So when I was helping Bex put together this flight, making sure this is what she wanted, that was her key area of interest. So luckily we found an airport fairly close to the area. Best do that now than later. Yeah, if you guys are gonna have issues now, at least hopefully you can get them sorted before the race tonight. Always a good thing to test things out ahead of time, whenever possible. That way, if you have to change anything or if you have to cancel, then you have the time to do so. Maybe we'll say at 280. Yeah, we're fine right here. What I should have done is start the timer. I need to get in a better habit of that. Is timing, see where we're at in the flight, time-wise, in relation to what our you know, how long we've been flying. Alright, so there's our marker there. Now we are on our way to our arrival portion. Okay, so now comes the fun part. Let's get to our, let's see, that's 110, 109 nautical miles to go. So I'm going to go ahead and slow to 270. Just a little slow down. And we're just going to do this a little. We're going to go to 25,000 feet first. going to wait till I get paid again, then I might get GT7. Well, good luck, Joseph. Hopefully that works out in your favor. All right, so basically, this is where we're at right now. Over here, so you see this track here, we're going to go to the right of the airport. EFRO is our destination. So we will go to the right, turn around, turn the right back into line up. Then we're all in trouble. Possibly, Glenn, possibly. So we're going to be in good shape here. I think just to kind of get set ourselves up here, as I like to say. One of the things I learned early on, the folks in the forum told me that the one thing that is true, or you have to basically make some decisions ahead of what the ATC is going to tell you, and the sooner you do that, then the sooner you are good to go for the remainder of your flight. Alright, so let's just have a look here. So our final altitude needs to be at 11,000 feet. Now the problem is we can't, I don't think, unless it's changed, there's no way to ask for a 9,000 foot reduction. It's 8 and it goes to 10. Now I don't know if that's like real life or how that's supposed to work. So once we get to 200, we're going to go to 15,000 and then 11,000. So we're going to step it. So 5,000 reduction, 6,000 foot reduction. We should be right where we need to be at the end. And then eventually we'll start getting our updated altimeter readings. Now while we're doing this, I'm going to take one other quick break. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So we're almost at 20,000 feet, or 200. We still have 67 nautical miles to our marker. I'm going to go ahead to 250. Actually, you know what we can do? We can just go to 16,000 feet. Hello, Amin. Nice to see you here. We are on our way to Rovaniemi. We'll be landing pretty soon. Still got a bit to go in the flight, but we are starting our descents. I think we can hang at 16,000 here for a bit. Still got a fair distance to go to our marker. All we got to do is drop 5,000 feet. So we'll get a little bit closer and then we'll ask for to go to 11,000. Let's just have another look again ahead. So you can kind of see things a little bit. Oh, sorry about that. So you see, this is our. We're going to turn, and then we're going to make that right loop back into the airport there. Thank you for the 12 thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see, where are we at now? 48 nautical miles. So we're going to hang right here for just a bit longer. And then we'll eventually start getting our altimeter readings, but I have at least an idea of where we're going to be at. Now, the good thing is, the runway we're coming into, we're going to be, see, let me dial this 3012 in and see if that gets us where we need to be. If not, it'll tell us roughly where we need to be, or what's the altimeter reading. Okay, so we must be right where we need to be then on the altimeter. Oh, let's do that. Come on. Always happens on approach. We're trying to reduce our altitude. The select mode goes a bit wonky. Alright, so we should be set there. Any other altimeter readings, we'll get that as we get closer. Certainly when we get on final approach, it'll tell us our final should give us an updated altimeter reading, but I think we're going to be okay for the remainder of the flight, but there might be a minor fluctuation here or there. Go into the clouds here. So from once we get here, then we'll go to 7,000 feet, then 5,000 feet. Now what we could do also, we could ask for, from 11 we can go to 5, and then just do, we can go from there, if we want to. No. Okay, now we'll get an updated altimeter. Let's see if we were spot on or not. We're pretty close to it. A little change. Through the clouds we go. This is the part I love about flying in this sim, is going through the clouds. Alright, let's get down to 210.
Landing gear.
No, we don't need the landing gear just yet. No.
Landing gear.
So basically what happens is the throttle will turn off the throttle completely, and then it'll throttle back up just to kind of drop that speed fairly quickly, but it'll adjust accordingly. Alright, where are we at now? 19 nautical miles. Let's get a little bit closer, and then we'll go down to we'll request to 7,000. So kind of like what we do with the A320, we're going to go to 180, 160, 140, and then we should be good to go for our speeds. But we won't go to 140 until we're almost right when we're lined up, and we hit our close to our ILS approach. So once we get about 10 nautical miles from our marker, our waypoint there, all right. That's good. Oh, it's telling us to go to 10. Okay. I can live with that. Oh, that's not too big of a drop. Well, it's only 1,000. I don't know why I did it that way. Oops. That's fine. Now let's see if that means that we can ask for... Okay, we still can ask. All right. 'Cause at some point, usually we're not able to request further reductions in altitude. The ATC will tell us when to descend and what altitude we need to be at. All right, so if we want to look ahead just one more time, because we're getting a lot closer now. So basically right here, we're almost there. We'll make that turn here towards MIPCO, and then another turn, and then we'll eventually make that kind of that see if we have an updated altimeter. That's the same. All right, to MIPCO. There we go. There it is. We are all set then. We are right where we need to be. I like it. I love it when a plan comes together. That is fan-frickin-tastic. Oops.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
What happened?
Landing gear. Landing gear.
What do I need the landing gear? No, I don't.
Gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing
No, we don't.
gear. Landing gear. Landing
Did
gear.
it suddenly...
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Alright, so just... No.
Landing gear.
Shut up. Alright, there we go. So There it goes. It throttles back, and then it adjusts as we level off here. So I think from here on out, we will get our direction from ATC. No, interestingly not. Okay. I was expecting that we would at this point if they were telling us to descend at 7,000 feet. We will keep that window handy in case we need it. Let's get to 180 and start dropping some flaps. Now this thing has this propensity, as soon as you throttle back, it thinks that you're getting ready to land, not that you're changing the speed of the aircraft. So I apologize that you're getting that. That insane call for landing gear when it's not necessary yet. Let's just have a quick look again. So it's a little bit more clearly defined, our final portion of our flight there. Everything looks good. Doesn't look like anything's all wonky and we're going to go back and forth between anything. So I think we are all set here. I'm going to ask for 5,000 feet just so that we are still ahead of the curve. All right. Yep, still going, Joseph. We're almost there. We are finishing our arrival portion. We will be getting ready for our approach here pretty soon. We are set up, I think, for success here for the landing. We are nearly there. Only got a little bit more to go. So we just passed MIPCO. This is our final marker, waypoint. ECNO. Yeah. ECNO. I think that's the one. So as soon as we get there, and that's just a short 9 nautical miles, roughly 8 now, just under 9. And then we will go to this portion of our flight plan right down here. And then we need to be at 2,500 feet. From here, once we get to ECNO, then it should tell us to go to 2,500 feet when they're ready for us to do so. But that's just a short hop, skip, and a jump. Once we pass MIPCO, it should say that we're clear to VECIP. That's our transition point right there. if I remember how it's termed correctly. So our airport should be off to the right here somewhere. See if we can see the runways. We're not close to it yet, that's why. Okay, so it'll be up ahead here to the right. It might be it right up here. It kind of looks like an airport sort of area. Hello, Looper. Welcome to the stream. We are getting ready to wrap things up here. We're landing here in Finland here in a little bit. We are getting ready to go on to final approach. No, I'm not going to climb. See, this is one of those weird things that it thinks we're... No, we need to be at... Okay, see, there's that... So we're clear to VCAP, right? No, that just doesn't make any sense. Now, it may be that we are over a... over some kind of an area where they don't want a plane at 5,000 feet flying over. Maybe it's due to wildlife or something. I mean, there's nobody living around here, so it may be a wildlife issue. But we're going to stay right here at 5,000 feet because eventually it's going to tell us a couple times to go to 13,000 feet. But once we get a little bit closer to VCAP, it will, we will go to 2,500. So we're just going to stay right where we're at. I'm going to take one quick break again. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Nope. There's no reason for that at all. I'm sorry, but no. We are right where we need to be. So our airports looks like over... Looking for the runway lights. If they have any. Anything to suggest where our approach is at. Once we line up, we should be able to spot it. We're still turning in. See? All right, we are almost there. We're going to slow down a little bit more once we get... Okay. Actually, I can I think I feel comfortable putting the landing gear down now. Let's go ahead, get to 160. We'll just do everything kind of at the same time here. Get some more flaps down. All of our lights are on. So we are a well-lit aircraft. Still turning a little bit more. It's almost like we're making a big U-turn. Still looking for that runway. Well, we need to be lined up on, we're on runway 21, so we need to be on a 21 or close to 210 or 219 heading to be where we need to be. So we're just passing Vekip. Get handed over to the tower here in a moment. Ooh. So we've descended. I'm sorry, I have myself muted still. So we're on our way. Everything is going according to plan. We should start to nose over a little bit and follow the glide slope into the airport. It should nose over here any moment, and you see glide slope is white right now. Eventually, once we capture it, it'll go green, and then we are locked in. There we go. So there we are. Looks like we're in line with the runway. No, it looks like we're a little bit off, but once we get closer, if we have to adjust, that's what we're going to do. All right, let me focus on this here. So yeah, see, it says we're a little bit to the right because the track is to the left, just a smidge. So we are going to probably have to adjust that ourselves, because even though there's a crosswind, that may be affecting it. But we should be turning a little bit closer to that runway alignment, but it doesn't look like we are. No, matter of fact, it seems like, now it may fix itself as we get a little bit closer, but it doesn't appear to be the case. So what we're going to have to do, a couple things are going to happen in succession. We're going to kill the autopilot, no pun intended, and then we're going to disengage the auto throttle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get near here, near the throttle. I'm going to hit the Y button to disengage the auto throttle, or the autopilot. Then I'm going to hit the auto throttle off, and then go back on the throttle completely, and we'll be on the ground. So I think we can go a little bit closer. Looks like we are kind of lined up. But that crosswind is what's killing us.
Autopilot.
Oops. Oh, kind of hovering a little bit longer than I wanted. Ooh. Not the smoothest landing, but we're on the ground. Well, there we are. On behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Rovaniemi. I'm probably butchering that. Finland. Local time is, I believe, let's see, I think it's about 1600 in the evening, local. We do appreciate you joining with us today. A little bit of a wonky landing, but we made it. We didn't go sliding off the runway or anything crazy. We know and appreciate the fact that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures. We are glad that you joined us today. Do join us tomorrow in the Supermarine Spitfire. Parking, please, and thank you. So yeah, do join us tomorrow in the Supermarine Spitfire. We're going to be going from Dunkswell, and we're going to fly over RAF Upatri, and then we're going to turn towards Normandy. We'll land over Normandy. Thank you, Joseph. So do join us for that. And then we will have a second flight later in the afternoon, about 1 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock UK, or no, 6 o'clock UK time. We'll be in this jet again, going from Baltimore to Charleston, South Carolina. So Baltimore, Maryland to Charleston, South Carolina. So do join us for that. And then we will finish up the week on the 13th. Flight 7 o'clock Eastern, about 11 o'clock UK. We are going ahead an hour here in America between Saturday and Sunday. So we are going to be taking the F-14 from Miramar to Davis Air Force Base in Tucson. So do join us for that. Probably be a very quick flight because it'll be a very quick plane, of course. All right, now I can take a look. No questions. Cool beans. I like it. Appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out today. Thank you again for the 12 thumbs up. Greatly appreciated. Let's see where the stream is on Discord, or not Discord, on Twitch, so that I don't end things too quickly. Look at this fool walking in front of a jet aircraft. Get out of the way, dude. Boy, these ground crew folks are a bit troubling in their behavior. It's like, dude, you want to get sucked up into a jet or something? That can be arranged. Oh, come on. Look, there he goes again. All right, there we are. 3 hours and 10 minutes. It took a little bit longer, I think, again, because of the weather that we encountered. Some of those crosswinds and headwinds kind of slowed us down, and that's okay. It happens. It didn't really affect us too terribly much today. But we made it. So anyway, that is going to be it for today, folks. I do greatly appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out today on their Friday. Hopefully you enjoyed the flight, enjoyed some of the scenery, and also hopefully you enjoyed some of the explanations of what we were getting ready to do ahead of time. So hopefully you found that helpful, instructive, educational, whatever the case may be. Until tomorrow, I'm waiting for Twitch to catch up. Come on, Twitch. Come on, Twitch. Almost there. There we go. All right. Until tomorrow, I hope you have a great rest of your Friday, morning, afternoon, evening, early Saturday, wherever you are in the world. I will see you all tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, 11:30 UK, Supermarine Spitfire. I will see you all then. Peace. Live long and prosper.